everyone! This is Running on Empty Food Review. Well, hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone watching. Welcome one and all to this newest edition of the Running on Empty Food Review series. I'm your host, the Report of the Week. Thanks for checking in. So these days, I think one thing about fast food that I think if you're a regular fast food consumer and you're kind of familiar with the dynamic, you know how it can be sometimes, where you'll get these times where there's tons of releases, and it's like every other day there's a place releasing something. So you got Burger King that's shoveling out some inedible trash, and you have Taco Bell that somehow produces something even worse, and you have McDonald's doing their thing, and Pizza Hut releases something, etc. I kind of kid. I mean, the items these days are hit or miss with all of these places, but then you get a time where it's like for a couple weeks, nothing really gets released, just a few smaller things. So during those times, because obviously I try to do a lot of the reviews based on demand, I try to see what are people interested in, what would they like to see me try out, what is that high interest in. But again, when there isn't a ton of interest, I'll kind of branch out and I'll try some different places. This really caught my attention. I've done a few reviews for this chain in the past, but granted I haven't done a ton. But it'll be interesting to try this item out. Culver's has released a new burger. I'm not sure if Culver's is a national chain. I'm pretty sure that they're mostly focused, I think, in Wisconsin and the Midwest, but I know that there are also a few locations in the South, and they might have a couple elsewhere in the country. But they mostly do burgers. They do butter burgers for the most part. They have cheese curds, they have, I think, their frozen custard, and a lot of people regard them as a pretty decent chain. So I saw that they released a new item. I thought, yeah, they're pretty good most of the time. I mean, we'll just see how this item turns out. But more often than not, they seem to do a pretty good job. That said, they have released the Wisconsin Big Cheese Pub Burger. Now, I used to know a guy back in school. People would call him the Big Cheese. This burger has 3 different types of cheese on it. And I guess it's a pub burger, so when you're going to the pub with the lads, this is what you would get. It comes with cheddar cheese, American cheese, and Havarti cheese, and also is a roasted garlic aioli. And I think it comes with a special bun. They called it, I'm not sure if this was a typo or not, they called it a cheddar cheese bun. That's just what was on their website. So it's got the different types of cheeses, the garlic aioli, the special bun. This burger, for a single, you could get it for $5. For a double, you could get it for $7. I got the double this time around, so why not? So that's the burger. Pretty straightforward, I would say, but it might be pretty good. I mean, like I said, these days I've had pretty good experiences from Culver's. A cheeseburger, it seems to be getting some coverage, so we will see. Here's the Culver's box. That's a paddle right there. What do these say? Welcome to Delicious. And I'm in a deluxe state of mind, aren't we all? Looking good, as usual. And there's the burger. Right there. I'll get a close-up of it. Let's take it out. You can see the cheese. A little lopsided, but that's all right. Got the American cheese, the cheddar cheese, the Havarti cheese. That's a double. There's that special bun we were talking about. And on the bottom there, that's that garlic aioli we were talking about. So, now that we're back in focus, I think this is a pretty straightforward review. You know, there's some items where there's a lot that you could say about it and a lot of, you know, miscellaneous anecdotes, and I'm trying to get my shirt sleeve, there we go, that you could really go on. And then there's other items where it's like really straightforward, and I think this is one of those items. So, in the end, let's just try it out. Again, the Wisconsin Big Cheese Pub Burger from Culver's. Let's see, is this a solid cheeseburger? Well, let's find out. It's going in. The other day, a piece of Havarti cheese tried to sell me a car. And there was this huge crane. There's something about this that I'm not a fan of. I'll tell you that. Look, by and large, I find myself enjoying Culvers, and they're pretty good. Again, for the most part. But we understand that every single place out there definitely has, you know, some items are better than others. It's like, one of my favorite places that I like going to is Chick-fil-A. We'll use them as an example. And for the most part, you know, I like a lot of the stuff that they do. I like their chicken sandwiches, the spicy sandwiches, the nuggets, the fries, all that good stuff. But there's still an item here and there on their menu that, you know, it's like I kind of shrug. It's like, I wouldn't really get that. So just because you like a place doesn't mean that, of course, by nature you have to like every single thing they're at. And I think that makes sense for the most part, but it's still a point worth establishing. And Culver's is no exception to that. When I usually go to Culver's, I just like getting they're pretty much a standard butter burger. No frills, nothing too crazy. That's just what I like. This burger, on the other hand, you know, I don't know. There's something off about it, I'll tell you that right now. When I normally eat a burger, I think here's something that I notice about it. That the burger itself seems like it's, I've noticed that it's essentially absent of very much flavor at all. And not only is it absent of that flavor, but it seems like it's acting, once it gets into my mouth, like a sponge of sorts. And it soaks up all the saliva, and I have trouble swallowing the thing. That's why you saw me, you know, because if you watch enough of these, you know, usually I'll just swallow it, I'll drink some water here and there. But if you noticed, I did not swallow a single bite without the aid of that water. And that's for a reason, because it's like I felt like my mouth was so absent of moisture that it was actually proving difficult to swallow even one single bite of it. So, just speaking from that perspective, that's obviously a problem. But secondly, like I was saying, it's a bit absent of flavor. Now, one thing that I do notice is the garlic aioli. So I know that it's not just me. And I know also earlier in the evening I had some coffee and all of that. And I mean, that tasted fine as ever. I got this vanilla coffee and, you could definitely taste it. So I know it's not just my mouth that's messing with me here. It's something with this burger. It's like as I bite into it, it seems dry. It seems shockingly flavorless. And the only thing that I could taste is this creamy garlic aioli, which, despite the copious amount of it that you saw on the bottom bun, does it contribute very much in the way of moisture? No, it doesn't. And it's just weird. It's like, all right, I taste this creamy garlicky flavor, but aside from that, it's bone dry, and there's really nothing else to it. I look at all this cheese. There's the 3 different types of cheese on this: cheddar cheese, American cheese, and Havarti cheese. And I see the 3 different slices, one on the top, one in the middle, one on the bottom. I really can't say that this even tastes like a cheesy burger. You'd think, for goodness sake, there's 3 types of cheese on this. It's the pub burger, for goodness sake. And it's the big cheese, not the little cheese. But where is the flavor? It's not there. And that's disappointing, because I'm looking at it right now. Like, I'm looking at this. This is what I stare down at as I'm kind of observing it and giving my assessment. Right there, you see all this cheese. I think, wow, that actually looks pretty good. Could look good, but does it taste good? If only. And it doesn't. That's the disappointing thing about it. And then the bun itself is just, I don't know, it's totally unremarkable. Pretty dry. The thing that I like about their buns for the most part is that they usually have a little bit more substance, and they always put the butter on them, but this seems to be lacking in that regard, and that's disappointing too. In short, what I'm trying to say is that this is an item that it certainly looks good. It looks good in the ad. It looks good based on the description. It looks good even when you get it. But we know that you can't judge a book by its cover, and that goes both ways. Right? You could get an item that looks like total disgusting slop, and then you actually have it, and it's like, wow, now this looks pretty good. I was underestimating it. Well, this is the opposite end of the spectrum. You get an item that looks like it has potential, right? It sounds good. It sounds, all right, this is going to be something. But when you actually try it, now forget it. Your hopes and dreams are shattered, and then some. Because this is not an enjoyable burger, I'll tell you that right now. And that's unfortunate, because I like Culver's. It's a place that I would say I frequent. I'd say that by and large they have a quality product. But this just, as some fellows would say, this ain't it. One other thing worth mentioning is the size of the patties. Like I said, not only on this burger were they not very flavorful at all, they're not really juicy, they're not tender, it's like matter. That's all that I could describe it as, and wow, what a disappointment. What a disappointment. Look at the size of the patties, though. This is a double. Alright, now you go to like a diner or something, these days the glorious 2022 experience might not be true anymore, but you could go at least to a diner or a local mom and pop burger place, or even like a Denny's or something, and you'll get a burger where the one patty is probably bigger than both of these two things combined. Like, alright, right up there, you see that little line, that's the cheese, that's the top patty, that's the bottom patty. And then you realize, wow, these are very, very thin patties as well. And I'm being charged $2 extra just for that, for this tiny little wafer-thin patty that in this instance was totally flavorless. So that's disappointing too. I just gotta tell you, this is a burger that let me down. And I think it is what it is. Look, it is what it is. Places have some items that are better than others, and we get that. We accept that. We understand that. The problem with this place is that it hurts a little bit more when it's not just like some place like Taco Bell, which, yeah, by and large, it's like people kind of know when you hear Taco Bell, you know what you're in for. It's like you know that it's just going to be what it is, right? But a place like Culver's, I often go there with the expectation, or at least with the understanding that, all right, this might be something better than like Burger King. It might be better than one of those places. Quality is going to be more of a certainty. So then when you see something like this from a place that's usually reliably good, I'd be lying if I said it doesn't hurt. Because you see these places that start, it's like, is this just a fluke? Is this just a bad item? Or is it a sign that things are getting worse? And I don't know. This happened years ago with Steak and Shake. I don't know. Either way, they still have some decent items, but this burger, I don't like it. There's really no redeeming qualities to this whatsoever. It's an item that has a lot of potential, but the execution, miserable. Totally missed the mark on it, and that's all that I could honestly tell you. So I'll certainly be interested in trying out the next new release from Culver's, and we'll see. Maybe it's going to be better, but we'll find out in due time. So $7, the Wisconsin Big Cheese Pub Burger, 3 out of 10 is what I'm giving it. Only thing is just that it's still edible and you could swallow it, but aside from that, I mean, the ingredients still might be quality, but you can't really taste any of them. It's money down the drain, and that's all that I could tell you. A real disappointment, and I'm sorry to have to give this assessment. That's all that I have for you. Until next time, I'm your host, The Report of the Week.